Coming up on today's show, we take a look back at last year's documentary about the signing of the Constitution and our Tell OHS question of the week. Stay tuned, you're watching Roar TV. Good morning, Oviedo. I'm Kylie McFarland. Today is Tuesday, September 17th, 2019. Let's get the show started. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey Oviedo, it's Savannah. This is our first hashtag Tell OHS of the year, where we ask you a question and you submit your response on Twitter. September 17th is the beginning of Constitution Week, and this week we're curious. What does it mean to you to be an American? What values do you believe are important? In your view, what is our identity as a nation, or what should it be? Answer using hashtag Tell OHS, and you could see your response on the broadcast at the end of the week. That's it for me. Let's get back to the show.
Talent show auditions for this year's homecoming will be September 18th. The show itself will be during homecoming week on October 1st. Please have 1 minute of your talent prepared for your audition for your judges, Miss McKernan and Miss DeLong. Do you love history? If so, you should consider joining our History Honor Society, Rho Kappa. There will be a brief meeting today for new and returning members in Miss Jenkins' room 8-027. We will discuss club membership, the application process, and dues, and what students' visions are for Rho Kappa in the upcoming year. Spanish Club is meeting today at 2:30 p.m. in Miss Inger's room. Attention class of 2020. The final day to have a senior portrait taken for the yearbook senior section will be on Saturday, September 28th. Leonard's Studio in Castleberry Wilshire Plaza will close after this date. If you still need a portrait, just walk in after school or on a Saturday to have it done. You have 2 weekends left. The OHS Fellowship of Christian Athletes Club will be meeting this Thursday, September 19th, during both lunch periods. First lunch will meet in Building 13, Room 204, Mr. Matthews' classroom, and second lunch in Building 8, Room 30, in Coach Quattry's classroom. We will be having our next French Club meeting today at 2:30 in Mrs. Huffman's room 13008. We will be discussing the homecoming parade. See you all there. There will be a girls' weightlifting interest meeting on Tuesday, September 24th in Coach Evans' room, Building 8, Room 203. We will discuss what is needed to be a part of the team and also when season officially starts. If you have any questions, please stop by Coach Evans' room. D&D will have a meeting this Wednesday in Mr. Cap's room, 12-013 after school. Homecoming nominations are now open. To nominate your classmates for Homecoming Court, log on to eCampus and find your class page. If you do not see it on your homepage, hover over courses and click all classes. Homecoming nominations will close this Friday at 11:59 p.m. There will be a Bioscience Club meeting this Thursday, September 19th in Mrs. Demons' room, 12004. Beta dues for returning and new members is this Friday. New members is $30 and returning members is $20. Cash or checks made out to OHS Beta are accepted. Don't forget your small photo as well. Dues and applications can be dropped off in Miss Shea's room, Building 5, Room 207. In honor of the signing of the U.S. Constitution, let's take a look back at Roar TV students Blair Brown and Nevada Collins' documentary about the First Amendment to kick off Constitution Week.
One of the Constitution's most prominent principles can be found in the First Amendment. The right to the freedom of the press is what allows the Oviedo High newspaper class to flourish. Informing the student populace at Oviedo High has become an active expression of their roles as citizens of their school campus. Larger publications like the Orlando Sentinel serve this vital purpose to a broader local community. Throughout all of this, the First Amendment allows for journalism's role and existence in the public sphere.
It says that there shall be no law regulating the free press of the United States of America. We are there to be a check on the power that is granted to state and local and federal government. So it's essential to the way our society works.
And that is our number one job, really. I mean, that is why we had these First Amendment protections that Congress could not make any kind of laws that prohibited our ability to have that check on them.
The First Amendment allows the press, and the press can, these days is newspapers, television, blogs, even certain blogs and online operations, to make sure that government is held accountable to the people.
If we didn't do it, I'm not sure anybody else would have.
The press not only serves as a check on government, but permits citizens to better fulfill their duty by keeping the public informed with facts.
We search for the truth because you have people telling you different things, and I think part of our job is to find out what is the truth and report that to people, and I think that's what makes a good citizen, because you need to look at different sources and find out what the truth is about important issues, and that helps you make really important decisions about your community.
Democracy is based on the notion of an informed electorate. If you don't have people involved, then you don't have democracy. It's real easy to get lots of information about who may be running for the U.S. Senate or for governor, but what about your county commissioner or even your city commissioners? Those are the kinds of races that only a newspaper can give you the information you need.
In their search for information, reporters at the Orlando Sentinel often utilize records available to the public to uncover what might otherwise go unnoticed.
The mission of a newspaper or journalist in general is to shine a light in areas where maybe people don't know there's something that needs to be illuminated.
You know, there's this big story about the UCF's president stepping down. And you know, the sentiment about that story was, number one, he's a very popular, you know, president. And so there was a lot of sadness about that. But then we got the public records, and that told a different story. And that told a story about, you know, people who worked for him, who were basically saying, you know, he knew a lot more than he said he knew.
And it changed the narrative. The UCF president, they had a hearing at UCF to determine whether or not to accept his resignation. And they had a lot of people testify, students and faculty members, talk about what a great guy he was and that he's being framed for this sort of thing. And that was the narrative going into the afternoon. Then that evening we were able to get all these records, and we had a number of people in the newsroom going through hundreds of pages of documents, finding what these people testified up in Tallahassee, and they said that the president did know about what was going on with this funding.
That role as a source for information puts the press in a position to bring the community together, particularly in times of tragedy.
The time that we felt we had a huge impact on our community was during the Pulse shooting.
We were all, basically the whole newsroom came into the newsroom to start covering it that morning. But we really wanted to make sure that the victims and their stories were kind of front and center.
All the people who had been killed and the people who had been injured. We didn't really care that much about the gunman because we said, he's not from this community.
Our decision to cover it that way, I think it helped the community heal and focus on the right thing.
We were the ones that came up with the hashtag Orlando United early on in the coverage, and that was something that was carried throughout, and even today is used a lot in terms of that tragedy. You want to help serve your community, and then you get the feedback that you really made a difference in people's lives and they appreciated what you did. That was really fulfilling for us.
Good reporters get out and talk to people in the community, just regular folks, to understand what their needs are and write about those needs.
Back in the newspaper classroom at Oviedo High, the students are improving their citizenship through awareness of their campus and community.
I think it's important to have the newspaper at school, especially to have students be able to have a platform to speak their minds.
The press and the media is how we get all of our information, and if we don't have that, then we're uninformed and we're uneducated making decisions.
They are going through the process of being the ones who are telling the story and being the ones who really have to consider who is being represented and making sure that everyone is getting their voice represented in each story that we tell.
Hey Oviedo, I'm Riley with your O-Town Sports Update. Boys golf participated in the inaugural Winter Springs Golf Tournament at Tuscaloosa Country Club yesterday. The boys finished 5th out of 10 teams. Josh Stewart came in 2nd place at 3 under par. They compete again today against Lake Brantley at Twin Rivers at 3:30. Girls golf fell to Hagerty yesterday 232 to 184. Liz LeBlanc led the team with a 57. The girls will compete again against Lake Brantley at Wekiva Country Club, also at 3:30. Boys and girls bowling remain undefeated with their win yesterday over Lake Mary. The girls had a 2,260 pinfall total, and the boys had a 2,331 pinfall total. Slow pitch softball fell to Lake Brantley 12-5 and Haggerty 5-2. Girls volleyball defeated Winter Springs at all 3 levels last night. Both freshmen and JV swept the Bears. Varsity won 3-1. Lily Gunter tied the single match dig record with 36. Simone Jackson also added a career-high 22 digs, and Michaela Schultz had a double-double with 20 kills and 24 digs. This was your O-Town Sports Update. Back to the studio.
That's all we have for you today, Oviedo. Have a great day and go Lions!